I recently got asked why I haven't been making videos. My last video was uploaded almost 2 months ago. And the reason is that I just ran out of things to talk about. And you can only talk about the same computer 5 times. No. That is, if you don't want to bore your viewers. Judging by the title, as you probably have already read, this is going to be a Thrift picks video. It's sort of an update on what's going on, etc., and what I'm planning. But spoiler alert, I really don't have anything planned. It's mostly going to be off the cuff and whatever I feel like talking about. Without further ado, let's go over what I've found in the past several 2-3 weeks, more like 2 weeks. This is going to be a combination video, so I didn't find all these in one day. But I did actually find them starting with the first item. I found that at the end of December, and most of these are going to be in January. So starting from, let's just start from the right. Starting from the right, we have this mundane, blurry, this mundane PC controller. Got it for $7. Since it was half off day at the thrift shop, got it for $3.50. This Mac Plus here, I got for $25. Didn't have the power cord, but that's a standard power cord. Didn't have the keyboard or mouse. It was as is. And unfortunately it has the capacitor problem. So I will have to fix it. When you turn it on, it just buzzes and makes a clicking noise. It's probably because the power, the capacitors are getting older, the solder's cracked. Anyway, it's a project for me to work on. And the coup de grace, I managed to snag an original NES. Yes. With some games. So here's what happened. A thrift shop that I normally frequent, as I've mentioned before, that one I periodically asked, hey, do you have any computers? Do you have any electronics? And they've kind of come to learn that I'm interested in that stuff, computers, electronics, etc. And that's actually the same place that I got the joystick from. So they saved the joystick for me, and they said, hey, Ryan, we have this joysticks, you want to see it? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I see it, and I buy it, and then then the lady who runs the counter, she goes, hey, also, we have this old Nintendo, but the guy who tests the systems, he's not here, so I don't know where it is. So she goes and calls the back, it's like, hey, where's the Nintendo? They can't find it. And she's like, oh, I guess he threw it away. And at that point, I'm like, okay, well, when is he going to come back? And it's like, oh, well, he's going to come back on Tuesday. This is Saturday. They're closed Sunday and Monday. I'm going, okay. Trash pickup occurs on Monday, so if it's in the trash, it's long gone. But if it's not in the trash, and if they happen to find it after I leave, they won't be able to sell it, because this is right at closing time, so if they happen to find it, they won't be able to sell it on Sunday or Monday, because they won't be there. And Tuesday will be my first shot to get it. So I call on Tuesday, as soon as they open, and, close to as soon as they open. They open at 9 a.m., I called at 10. I said, hey, this is Ryan, I talked to fill in the blank on Saturday, and the other lady that runs the store, she was like, and? Well, she didn't say that, but she was sort of like, okay, get to the point. I said, well, so-and-so told me to call about a Nintendo, because the guy who tests the systems normally works on Tuesday. Is he there? And she's like, oh, yeah, he's there, but he just showed up, so, he leaves at 2, and this is at 11 when I called. So I go down there, and I walk in the store, and I go, hey, I think his name was Tom or something, but let's say it's Tom. Hey, where's Tom? And they're like, oh, he just left. I'm like, left? Yeah, he's out by his truck. Oh, okay. So I go to the parking lot and talk to him, And I go, hey, so about that Nintendo, did you throw it away? Or he's like, oh no, that reminds me. I should probably go and gather it up. I'm like, wait, can I look at it? Can I buy it? It's like, well, it doesn't really work. Fine, I'll show you. So he goes to the back, grabs it, and it came with the power cable. I actually had this Nintendo controller because I prefer to thrift in advance. I purchased this Nintendo controller 6 years ago. I didn't have an NES, but I knew that either A, it was going to be worth something. Looked on eBay, it was like worth $4 at the time. I paid $1.50. So at the time, it was pretty much worthless to me. So I held on to it. It came with the power cable. It uses standard AV cables. So he brings it out, and I did not do any cleaning of this. This is the way it was. And there's no yellowing whatsoever. Let's move the games over. There's no yellowing to be seen whatsoever. It is in mint condition. I don't know what's with this. When I took it apart to clean it, I didn't see like any screws or anything, so maybe it's just a manufacturing defect. So I took it apart, cleaned the pins, straightened out the pins. When he brought it up, he said, hey, it has that red light issue. Red light issue? And he said, well, the power light, it just flashes and it doesn't work. But sometimes you can get like the game to work, but then other times it crashes, and sometimes it's just like a solid color screen. Like, okay, so the wheels are turning in my head. I know what's wrong with it. And some quick Googling in the store, turns out that there's probably an issue with the 72-pin connector. Either at where it connects to the logic board, or to where it actually slides into the game. Well, where the cartridge slides in. So he said, well, we sold the other games. I didn't get to see the games, but it's like they were selling them for $1. So, but you lose some, you win some. So it didn't have a game, didn't have the controller. It had the joystick pad controller one, but they sold that. And the AV cables were long gone. So, and there was no price on it. He hadn't priced it yet. I'm standing there thinking, okay, running through in my head trying to figure out what it could be. If it's a 72-pin connector, I can either fix the connector or buy a new one for $10. If it's a logic board failure, then I can either try to fix it myself and maybe spend like at the tops $7, $8 in parts if I have to replace every single capacitor or whatnot. If I want to get it repaired by a professional, it's $50 for a repair. So I'm going, okay, I'm just thinking. And he goes, oh wait, I need to price it. So I go, okay, fine. He goes and grabs the pricing gun, and I kind of, walk away like some other stuff. And I hear him clicking because it's the old style and it's not the digital. So you have to click and set every single symbol and number. So I hear one click for the $sign, obviously. And then I hear click, 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 click. I'm going, okay. Did he just set it to like $50 or something, or, $30, $10, at the lowest? What he did was he did the $sign, the space, then the number, and then dot, and 00. He charged $7 for everything. It came with the AC adapter, the unit. It was as is, but the thrift shop already has a no return policy. The only thing they have is actually an exchange policy. But it's not really possible in this case because they don't have another NES. So I gladly pay the $7 and I take it home. And I don't have any games. So, of course, I have to go and find a game. The first game I actually buy for it would be Rad Racer. Think of Rad Racer as Outrun for the NES. It's pretty much a one-for-one clone with a little bit less graphic fidelity. So this Outrun clone, I looked the system up, plug in the AC, plug in the AV cables that I have, insert the cartridge, it's hard to do one-handed, press down, and I press the power button. And sure enough, the flashing red light comes on. I hit the reset twice, doesn't do anything. And then I undo it, turn the system off, and I turn it back on, and now there's a solid yellow screen. Turn it off, solid yellow blue screen. Solid blue screen. Turn it on again, solid red screen. You get the idea. So it's doing something with the pins. The pins, are weird or something. So I take the system entirely apart. Luckily, this one has standard Phillips screws, so that's great. I flip it over, take out the 6 Phillips screws on the bottom, and everything else is mint. It has all 4 rubber feet. There's no real dust or gunk or anything. It's in immaculate condition. So I take it apart, look at it, clean up the pins, straighten out the pins, remove the adapter and whatnot. And I have to go pin by pin and straighten out every single pin, make sure they're making proper contact. And then I put the adapter back in, reassemble it, and put the cartridge in. And it starts up. It's like, yes, I fixed it. But this is before I press down on the cartridge. So I inserted it, I insert the cartridge, and then, without it being clicked in, it's like this, but it's not pressed down. And it works. It's like, okay, that's cool. So I go and I press the cartridge down to lock it into place. And the screen goes blank. Okay, well, just hit reset. So I hit reset, and it's back to the solid screen. Hit reset again, and corrupted garbled game screen. Hit reset again, and solid color screen. I undo that and put it in the unsprung position. Turn the console off, and then turn back on, and the game starts up perfectly. I'm like, okay, I guess maybe there's something a little bit weird with that. So I go to test the game, and I'm playing it, and I notice something a little bit weird. There is no sound. No sound whatsoever. No sound effects, no music tracks. And I start looking up, and I find schematics, and I find that apparently the first 3 pins of the NES CPU has direct audio, so I bridge the connector, solder wires to the direct composite audio jack. That doesn't fix anything. Unsolder those, test it again. It's still broken. So I'm looking at the RF box, and I realize that the audio out connector is wiggly where the solder is. So I just pile a whole bunch of solder on the audio out RC whatever connector, and I plug the game back in, and also I adjust some of the screws, so then it was now playing with it being locked into place. So then I turn it on, and the title screen, I didn't notice at the time, but the title screen doesn't have music for Rad Racer. So I'm like, oh great, it's still broken. But I hit start anyway, might as well test the controller or something. And then I don't hear any music, but I hear the sound effects of the engine and the braking and the turning and when you crash. So I'm like, okay, well that's something, that's a small victory. So I take the cartridge out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in, clean it, clean the pins again, reassemble it, and it's still just doing sound effects. Longer story, a little bit short. With Rad Racer, pressing down the down button, down arrow on the D-pad, cycles through 3 music tracks and also no music. You can set the game to have no music. That's not what was happening before. The RCA, the component, whatever, jack, it was just loose. Soldering it actually fixed it, and since Rad Racer was the only game I had at the time, which doesn't have menu music, and you could turn the music off, which had been turned off previously, I thought it was broken. So then that was a small victory, yay, celebrate. So I go to return the game because, Rad Racers, it's okay, but I want to get my money back. I paid a whole $6 for it, so, And when I came back, the person running it goes, "Oh, we just did a bank drop. We don't have the cash box. We can't do a refund," because I paid with cash. So I go back, another day passes, and I come back today. And they just got a new batch of NES games in, and basically all of the games that I got were either $4 or under. Some of the tags say a little bit more, but they were able to discount it for me. So in no particular order, I grabbed Mach Rider. It's a motorbike racing game. Wrath of the Black Manta. It's a ninja fighting game. Days of Thunder. It's a NASCAR game. I think NASCAR Thunder. And then I guess someone had either... They do take donations, like they take people turning in their games for cash. But I think they go to Thrift Shop or eBay. But they bought a big lot with a bunch of RPG games. So... Heidelide, however you say that. Or Heideliddy. I'm going to say Heidelide. That's a pretty good RPG. And then I got Destination Earthstar, which is sort of a top-down shooter, which is pretty cool also. And I got Trojan, which is also another RPG by Capcom. The other ones were from Acclaim Software, FCI, and then other companies. And then I got, purely based on the cover art, I'd never heard of this, Dr. Chaos. The cover is a lot cooler than the game. The game is okay. It's a fighting RPG exploration game. Think Castlevania, but toned way down with less interesting graphics. And then I also snagged this little compilation cart for $2. It comes with Super Mario Bros., Duck Hunt, which is virtually useless to me because I don't have a CRT, nor do I have a light gun, and World Class Track Meet. Interesting note about World Class Track Meet. That is actually renamed from the other game, which I'm blanking on, that is worth a lot of money. And that was a completely worthless bit of information. Next game I got was Swords and Serpents, which again, the cover art is a little bit more interesting than the game, but it's still a pretty good game. I mean, all these games I grabbed at random, and they really didn't have much. And I kind of sort of bought them out of all of the games they had. They really only had like golf and Tetris left. And a bunch of world-class track meet carts. Then the next game I got was Gradius by Konami. That's another spacey, top-down-ish sort of... No, actually, that was a first person. Is it? I don't remember. It's a space shooter. Then I got Spy Hunter. Say what you want. It's an okay game. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. I found it to be pretty fun. And then I got Robo Warrior from Jellico Software. Then I got Spelunker, which is really, really fun. This is, I think it first made its debut on either Atari or the Apple, like Apple II. And then other consoles like that, and PC. But Spelunker, and then I grabbed Dragon Warrior. Again, another really fun RPG. And then Renegade. This... Think Street Fighter, but really, really not good. Yeah, that's... Actually, no, back up. Think of Streets of Rage, but not really good. And then, of course, here's Rad Racer, Outrun Clone. And then I got Flying Dragon. Or sorry, The Secret Stroll. Flying Dragoon. By Culture Brain Software. I then snagged Legacy of the Wizard from Broderbund. It's another RPG. And then the next couple games I got were purely based on the fact that I like Genesis and Boston, and also the cover art was really neat. I got Cybernoid, the Fighting Machine, which is again another space action game. Tiger Hell, which is a helicopter top-down fighting game, which is really, I like it. They did have Contra, but they wanted $50 for it. I got Max. It's not Mad Max. I wonder how many people bought this thinking it was Mad Max, like parents buying it for their kid. This is also a really good one. And then I got Turbo Racing. It's okay. I don't find any fault with it. It's just another racing game. And then I got F-15 Strike Eagle. It's a first-person fighter jet game. Your goal is to basically destroy the enemies on your way to a predetermined goal, and then destroy the goal, and then you move on to the next mission, and then when you finish, you win. And I couldn't pass this up. I got Rambo. Quintessential game. Some like it, some don't. It's okay. Sort of a Contra clone. I think I heard the Contra was based on Rambo or something, or I don't know. And then I got Iron Tank, which is a top-down tank fighting strategy game, which is, again, pretty fun. You can shoot the cannon and place mines and stuff like that and take out infantrymen. And this guy, those of you that follow Metal Jesus Rocks may have heard of this game in the NES Collecting Guide. To put it shortly, it is Castlevania with a mixture of some other game, but done a little bit better. It's sort of a gem that people don't really know about, that there's a lot of copies, but it goes for cheap. That if someone were to ever review it that was popular, like Angry Video Game Nerd, or if it was ever featured in a movie, or something to give it fame, the prices would skyrocket. But it's, again, a really good game that can be found for pretty cheap. That's pretty abundant. And I got Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight. I just grabbed it because of Street Fighter. I know it's not a true Street Fighter game. Yeah, it was just, and also it's funny because in 85, they just picked an arbitrary date that seemed really far off in the distance, 2010. And now here we are, 6 years later. That's what you get for picking dates that can still be achieved with most people not being dead. If that even makes sense. And then finally, Iron Sword, Wizard, and Warriors 2. I didn't know this was a sequel to something, I just kind of grabbed it. So I really do hope that this video kind of satisfies your urge for new videos and whatnot. This has been Zesty Panda. If you liked it, thumbs it up. If you have any comments or questions or remarks, please leave them down below in the comments. And I will be doing some more videos, maybe computer stuff. Definitely some NES stuff. But I'm not gonna go hog wild and buy a bunch of games again. I'm just maybe gonna be looking for NES games again when I go thrifting. So, see you again later. Oh, and also I'll be working on the Mac Plus soon once I get the extensions for the Torx bits. So, hope you all have a nice day. Hope you liked this video, enjoyed it and whatnot, and hope to see you soon. Later, again. You know what I completely forgot to talk about? This Gravis game joystick for Atari, and this, not Atari, Amiga, no, not Amiga. Well, I am really tired. This Gravis gamepad joystick thing, really tired. And this Gravis Gamepad Pro USB. Yeah,